Hey, good morning and welcome in everybody to the DFS Minute, once again brought to you by DFSArmy.com, your one-stop shop for everything daily fantasy sports related. I'm your host, Chapadong, senior contributor and coach here at DFS Army, and I want to walk you through a feature here, a feature there, give you a tip here, give you a tip there in this DFS Minute video. So let's dive in today and let's talk about our cheat sheets at DFS Army. Let me show you how these things become valuable to you because I haven't done any personal research today on the early slate of NFL and I'm running out of time. So what do I need to do? I need to dive in and take a look at what our coaches are saying. Look down here at our cheat sheets, and all of these NFL cheat sheets are available to you as a DFS Army member. They come all the way over from prime times to showdowns down here in the left. And all of your main slates, FanDuel, DraftKings, everything is covered. If I look at Big Marley's DraftKings cheat sheet for the afternoon or the early only slate, we do have afternoon slates. I can scroll down quickly and say, who does he like? Who does he like? Who does he like? Let's see. All formats, 5 stars. That's good. 4 stars, okay. 3 stars. Okay, so I'd probably focus on these two quarterbacks. Look down here, core, Christian McCaffrey, duh. I know that, but here's a bunch of other all format plays. If I wanted to fade McCaffrey on a short slate in a tournament because he's going to carry a lot of ownership because a lot of people see him as a core play, then I can all of a sudden pivot down here to one of these guys. Let's say instead I took Alvin Kamara and I wanted a lower owned pivot. I might come down to a Duke Johnson or Le'Veon Bell, even whatever, to get me off of the chalk that will be Christian McCaffrey most likely. I scroll down to wide receiver. That's the only core play was McCaffrey. I'm looking at a bunch of all format plays, GPP only because I love Julio and doesn't get ownership. I don't want to load up on him, but I will have Julio exposure this week, and I think he should be the lowest owned 7K, not fighter, but receiver on the slate. Risky, but could pay off big. Of course, Julio can break slates. Has he done it this year? I don't know. Might be due. If I'm wanting to take a chance in a larger field GPP that has a large payoff, then I might jump on Julio and say, I like this idea. If I take McCaffrey and I take a Lamar Jackson and I'm getting a little chalky up here in my main lineup build, then I might come down here and say instead of a Michael Thomas or Devontae Adams, I might pivot off and take Julio. So I can get a little bit different that way than everybody else. Might need some value down here. Maybe Jameson Crowder's a good play. I feel safer with Crowder in cash games. Maybe that locks up my floor a little bit. Now in a GPP, I probably want all upside all the time. But I might use Crowder as a little bit of a floor type of build to at least give me a little bit of safety. But if I take Julio and Julio bombs on me, of course Jameson Crowder isn't going to save my day. So I wouldn't probably be using him. I might use a Robbie Anderson instead. Somebody for value. Tight end. All format here, cash only here. I think he'll be super popular, but I'm not sure what his upside is. He's cheap. He has to fall in the end zone most likely to bring the upside or to hit any kind of, he might have a floor of a few receptions and some yardage. But this is a typical cash play. This is perfectly stated out of Marley here because cash players. I get asked this question all the time between cash players and GPP players and all format players and whatnot. A cash only player means keep him in your cash games only because he doesn't have the ceiling to win you a GPP. And we can talk about that later in another DFS minute. But cruising down the list, we've got all format and the Texans, and then some GPP plays, and then so on. Now, this is a tricky proposition. So is tight end a little bit because they're very volatile positions by nature. There really isn't a stable, safe play in here. But if I wanted to kick over to some of these other slates, like I'm having a bad early only slate, and I want to jump into the afternoon slate, and I don't have time to research it, bam, check the notes. Give a lot of credence to the core plays, the all format plays, the 4 and 5 star plays, and then pivot off with a GPP play here or there. That's how I would use it. If I look at last night's NBA sheets, I come down here. Sometimes the core plays are highlighted in blue. You're going to get a couple of different core plays. That might be where I start my build. I might throw Harden with Horford and Kaminsky in there because I don't have time to research myself. And then I'm going to go looking through maybe for a value play, maybe an all format play, maybe a GPP only play, depending on what contests I'm planning on playing. These are things we discuss in the Army. These are things that we try to get your head wrapped around and pointed in the right direction because you might be building too risky for cash games, so you might not need to be incorporating so many cash games. We talk about the rule of 80-20, where 80% of your budget goes into cash games, 20% goes into tournaments, but maybe you're more of a 50-50 player. Maybe you need to cut down some of the cash and because you see things differently and you're taking more risk and you're comfortable with that. That's what we'll talk about. That's where we'll get your headspace correct. And then just to briefly show you some of the results that we saw last night. We saw a $5,000 winner in an NBA showdown, probably off of the notes, right? In fact, I know they're off of the notes. Let's go backwards. That's the wrong screenshot. I need this one because this is what I was planning on showing you. Is we've got another showdown play here for 200 bucks, but single entry double up plays and things, a combination that amounted to $1,100 in winnings last night out of another member. These are things we do every single night. 100-man contests on FanDuel are great. That was my 4th win in 5 days. And of course, an Army guy in my name just took down first place for $5,000. So that was the $5,000 winner I just showed you. Won over $200,000 on DraftKings. Did I just see that? I hate FanDuel. I've won over $200,000 though on DraftKings. Okay, pretty good track record there. Here's the $5,000 winner. Westbrook was only 9%. Notes recommended to pair up with Harden and Westbrook. That's what I did. The notes, the cheat sheets. That's what we're talking about. Boomer's daddy called out Mike Scott, and that was basically the linchpin. I love being in the Army. And there's his lineup. Guys, every single day we're producing winner after winner after winner off of these cheat sheets, off of our coaching discussion in Slack. If you wanted to come down here and talk a little bit, I don't use the DS for NBA, or it's a must for NBA. I use it for DM. I don't hand build anymore. So what would have happened out of 100? How I do the DS? How do you use the DS for one lineup? I use the DS for 300 lineups. How often does it take to work out for you through it? Guys are asking questions and members are providing feedback. Coaches are providing feedback. This is a discussion that goes on for quite a while between these guys, and it is right out there in the open for you to also learn. If you are the type of player that wants that type of coaching, that wants that kind of community, that wants that kind of helping you get better as a player, you need to consider becoming a VIP at dfsarmy.com. It's your one-stop shop. All sports covered, all tools unlocked, all coaching unlocked. You can get in here today before NFL lock, and you can really start producing competitive lineups. I'm Chopadong, CHOP, for a 20% off discount. Your coupon code, dfsarmy.com, is the link down in the comment section you can click on, obviously, to become a member here real shortly. We're looking for you if you're looking for us. Get on in here and start winning today. I'll talk to you guys on the inside.